All right, welcome in, students. This is VA Module 100. We are getting started with office and hospital procedures and client relations. My name is Mrs. Shayna Baldomero. I go by Mrs. B. I am your online lecture instructor for the VA program. So you will see me once weekly for your Zoom lectures. And I am the instructor that's working behind the scenes. I'm the one that's grading all of your online assignments, creating your online courses. Um, and having that online assistance for you. So, without further ado, we're going to get started this morning in your essentially orientation for the course, a short intro, and then we're going to go into what's new in this module, what do you need to know. Even if you've had me in modules before, there are new assignments in this module that you have never seen before. Please make sure that everyone's paying attention. Um, especially as we go through some of these new assignments, some of the homework you may have already started to look at. That's what we are going to also be going over today, making sure that everybody knows how to complete that. Your weeks are still that Monday through Thursday. We've got short weeks. So your homework is coming up fast, being due on Thursday. So don't worry. I know that I had quite a few students with questions about that. We will be getting into all of that today. So, with that being said, a few things before we get started. I want to make sure that everybody is using the correct and appropriate devices and the correct and appropriate web browser. So please be aware if you're a new student, even if you're not a new student, you should be using a computer. Whenever you are on Zoom, you should be using a computer when you're using LMS. Now, if you need to use your phone or an iPad or a tablet to join on Zoom because your device isn't working, that's okay. But please make sure when it comes to LMS, you should never, and I mean that, never be submitting assignments on your phone or on a tablet. You should only be submitting assignments right here on your computer to the LMS webpage. The reason why is because the mobile devices are not really compatible with this website. I have had many students who would do their discussions and whatnot on their phone, and I would never receive the submission. For some reason, that it's not compatible completely, and LMS has improved over the years. I've been with this school for almost 5 years, but it's not great, again, if it's not being used on a desktop. It is a desktop website. It really is not very compatible with your mobile devices. So please refrain from using them. Now, I know that there's an app. There is an LMS app that you can download on your phone. The app should only be used to check your messages, to check deadlines, and you can also access your e-textbook. But assignment submittal, again, you should not be using the app for assignment submittal. You should not be using your phone to submit assignments. It should only be on the computer. Save yourself the heartbreak. I've had many students that have had to redo all of their work because they didn't submit it the proper way. So please make sure you're using your computer. In addition to that, the best web browser that you can use for LMS is Google Chrome. So if you're using like Safari or Internet Explorer or some other browser, please make sure that you go get Google Chrome. Google Chrome is free. Anybody can download it. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. All you would do is you go to Google and type Google Chrome, and it'll give you the browser and you can download it now. And it's good for Windows, it's good for Mac. And again, Google Chrome, the reason why I'm telling you to use Google Chrome is it's the best web browser to use for LMS. If you're not using Google Chrome, you're not going to be able to access the interactive homework assignments. They're not compatible with other browsers. So you got to use your computer, that's one. And you have to use Google Chrome, that's two. So please make sure that you are doing that first and foremost to make sure that you are using the best format available to access your course. Now, as you guys are logged into LMS, everybody here should have access to this VA 100 module. Again, this is what we started yesterday. If for some reason you don't have access to this module or to the group chat, please let me know. We also have group chats for every single module. You may have already started to get notifications from me that those group chats are active, and I started sending messages as early as last week, Friday. So to check those messages, again, it's going to send you an email, whatever email is associated with your LMS account. It will send an email there to let you know that I've posted in this group chat. I post in this group chat every single day. It'll tell you exactly what's going on, what assignments are due, what you need to know. I also post in this chat important announcements and reminders. So to find this group chat, it's if you click on the upper right hand corner next to your icon, this little downward arrow, it brings this drop down file, and then you can click right into messages. Right here in messages, it's going to be under starred for me. For you, it's going to be under groups. As you can see, I'm in a lot of groups, so I star it to make it easier to find. And there's a group chat for each campus. So I have HP is Huntington Park, SA is Santa Ana. We are a combined Zoom, or sorry, combined program. So there's actually three different campuses. There's Huntington Park, Riverside, and Santa Ana. Huntington Park and Santa Ana, you lecture together on the same day, which is Tuesday. Riverside lectures on Wednesday on a separate day. But y'all are all enrolled in the same course and taking the same courses, just at different locations. So as you can see, I posted in here this morning to let you know, again, it's Tuesday, it's lecture. This is your info. This is the assignment that's due. So this is a great, absolutely great resource for you. Especially if you're a new student, I highly recommend check this group message every day. I post in it usually within like the first 15 minutes of your class period in the morning. Again, to let you know where you need to be, any assignments that are due. And this is also the first place you should check for announcements and reminders. So if there's like something about your lab, I know that a lot of lab instructors post in the chats for like animals that are coming into lab. You can find information there. You could also find information about like field trips. If there's tutoring being offered, I post my tutoring info in here. Any announcements, reminders, if for some reason class is canceled, this is where you're going to find all of that information. So please make sure that you are getting in the habit of checking this routinely to make sure that you're up to date on all the info and you know, again, everything that's going on in the course. Now, you can write messages in this chat. You can type messages and send them in the chat. There is your AM and PM cohort together in that chat. So just be aware this chat should only be for general class questions. It shouldn't be for personal reasons. So if you're like absent or you're sick or you're going to be tardy, any of those reasons, please refrain from putting it in this group chat. So don't put any personal things in this group chat. 32 other people don't need to know that you're sick and you're not coming today. The only person that needs to know that is your instructor. So on lecture days, you should be notifying me. On lab days, you should be notifying your lab instructor. Again, if you're going to be late or absent, you should be notifying your instructor of those things. Now, if you need to private message, you can do that here. And again, that would be great for if it was a personal matter. You can go in the upper left-hand corner where it says search and type your instructor's name to find them and send a message to them. It's very user-friendly. It's very easy to navigate this little message function. Now, that's not the only way that you can contact us, though. I'm sure your lab instructors have already shared with you since you already had lab this week, but I want to also highlight under the content section, we'll get into week one here in a moment. Under the content section, right below week four, it says schedule and contact information. This is where you can find my email, my phone number, your campus phone numbers. You can find your instructors' emails for your lab instructors. Even Zoom tutoring information is here, your class schedule. Lot of really good stuff that's linked here. Even your lesson plans are linked here, but they're also in week one under the objectives tab. So be aware that there's a lot in this section that's great. So if you're brand new and you haven't read through it yet, please do so. It also tells you exactly what you need to be doing on your asynchronous day, and kind of your schedule for lab and your schedule for online, kind of how that looks like for you. So please make sure you take a moment, scroll through this page, write down all the contact info, save it in your phone so that you have it. Please be aware that I work a different schedule than possibly your lab instructors, um, as we teach on different days and things like that. So be aware these are my office hours, and your lab instructor should have theirs posted in their lab as well. So just make sure that you are checking those and you're aware. Now, I do work a little bit of a funky schedule because I work what's called a split shift Monday through Thursday, and that's so that I can be online for all of my students at all of my campuses during their class times. So if you need assistance, I am online. Fridays, I do work a standard 8 to 5. Um, so just something to be aware of. If you're trying to contact me like in between that time from 12 to 6 p.m., I am clocked out. I am not at my desk. I only am permitted to work those 8 hour, my 8 hour shift a day. So please, I'm not ignoring you. Just know I'm not ignoring you. If you sent me a message and I'm not getting back to you, it's more than likely because I'm not working at that time. But just know that I'm always working while you are in class. So if you're at lab, or obviously if you're here in lecture, or even on your asynchronous day, I will be working. So you can always send me a message on LMS or send me an email. This phone number you can also call and text. I only use it for my students and for this class. So again, be aware I'm not going to be answering messages over the weekend or outside of class hours. Um, but that is there for your reference. So make sure that you do click into that schedule and contact and you save all the info in here if you haven't already. Something that I want to note, students, little bit off topic, but when you're joining in Zoom, if you join late, okay, so if you miss the attendance and you join late, it is your responsibility to put it in the chat so that my instructors can see it and they can get you marked. I will admit you into the class, that's fine, but it's your responsibility to say, "Hey, I'm here. I'm here in class." And you can see a student did that earlier, which is perfect, following exact protocol and exactly what you need to do. So again, if you joined late, I know I might have had a few students that joined late, make sure you put it in the chat so that you can get marked. All right. So that was our schedule and contact information tab. The next thing that I want to go over is it's linked here in this tab, but it's also in week one. So if you click into week one, it's these lesson plans. You should have received a lesson plan yesterday when you were in lab. If you didn't, please ask for one to be printed out. All students should have a copy of this or have the online copy downloaded, whatever your preference is. I tend to like a physical copy. So again, just you can ask your instructor. We can get copies printed if you do not have one yet. So please make sure you're clicking in the one for your campus. Again, Riverside is on a different schedule than Huntington Park and Santa Ana. So just make sure that you're clicking into the one that is for your campus. These are hyperlinks. Anything that you see written in blue here is a hyperlink, which means it'll either, when you click on it, it's either going to download something for you or redirect you to a new web page. So it just downloaded there, that lesson plan, and this is what it looks like. So it's going to have instructor information about your module here up top, and then it's going to quite literally have a day by day plan of what day it is, your class, the topics that are covered in your class, assignments that are due, and other reminders. So you can scroll on through. Here we are today, second day of class here in our Zoom lecture. What I recommend is that you have this and you cross it out every day, right? And you're looking at it every day. It's going to tell you again what assignments are due, what you need to do, and that's very important for this class. You don't want to get behind, especially with your weekly assignments. So you have daily assignments and you have weekly assignments. Your daily assignments are your daily discussions. As you've seen and you've already done, you have discussions that are due every day. At the end of your week, which is Thursday, your weeks are 4 days long. They're Monday through Thursday right now. So on Thursday, that's when your weekly assignments are due. Your weekly assignments is your quiz and your homework. So as you can see, Thursday, the 9th, that's coming up in 2 days, it's really soon. That's when your quiz, three different homework assignments are going to be due. So you got to make sure that you're starting on that immediately and you have a discussion. Now be aware, these are the deadlines. But the second that you were enrolled in my module, all of the assignments were live, which means that you can click into any of the assignments that you want and you can do them early. You do not have to wait until the deadline to do them. You could take your quiz right now if you wanted to. And you can even click into week 2, 3, or 4 and do the same thing. I have a lot of students that like to do all of their discussions on the first day of the week to get them out of the way because they don't want to worry about it. That's fantastic. I highly recommend that. Um, and that goes for any of it. Homework, discussions, quizzes, you can do any of it early. You do not have to wait. Be aware, I don't grade assignments early, but you are more than welcome to submit it early. That is not a problem. Please feel free to do that. It will more than likely really help you stay on track with your course as well. So please, if you haven't downloaded this yet, please download it. It's the lesson plan. It's, again, very important. You need to have this, especially if you're new. Once you've been in my program a little while, you'll probably get used to kind of the swing of things and when things are due. But even if you have been in the program for a while, it's still really great to have and to use. There's no excuse for not knowing that things were due when you have a very detailed lesson plan available for you. And again, you can electronically download it like this, or you can print it out and have it a paper copy. But make sure that you are utilizing that, please. I do post every day in the group message, and it's basically just a reiteration of what's on your lesson plan. So there's two different places that you can check the group message and your lesson plan to know about deadlines, what's going on in your class, updates. Now, in addition to that lesson plan, for my new starts, my new students, everybody is to watch. There is a tab here under the content section, and it's helpful how-to videos for LMS. So if you are a new student, everyone is to watch all of these videos before your first day. Now, this is an old orientation recording. We are in a new we're in a new start right now, so we are in October start. So this video will get replaced with the one that we're recording right now. This was just the last time that I taught the module, and it was on a different schedule. All the assignments were the same and everything like that, but the class schedule was different, and so just be aware of that if you did watch through that. But all of these other videos, if you scroll down, there's how to message on LMS, where to find contact info, how to check your grades, how to complete your daily discussion post. I've got for weekly Kahoots and quizzes, your interactive homework assignments, your typing test, which is specific for this module, how to use Google Docs and to submit to LMS. You're going to be using Google Docs quite a bit this week for your two of your homework assignments. How to use Adobe Scan. You won't really be using Adobe Scan for this module. You could if you wanted to handwrite your discussions. That's completely fine with me, but you have to be using this scanning app. You can't just take a picture with your phone and upload it because when you do that, it uploads as a PNG or as a JPEG, and I can't view those on LMS. It's not compatible. So if you use Adobe Scan, it will convert it to a PDF. PDF is the best version of document that you can submit here. So please be aware. Again, and that's only if you want to handwrite it. If you don't want to handwrite your assignments, you want to type everything, then you don't need to be using that function. And then the Learn Library Manual, we don't really use it in this module, but you will be using it in other modules. It's our online library that we have here for ACHT. So don't worry, you will definitely use it in the future, but please feel free to use it as much as you would like throughout the course for information about veterinary medicine. So you'll use it in the future with your research projects. So please, again, if you're a new start, make sure that you're watching through these videos. If you're not a new start, know that these videos are here because again, you're going to be doing things on Google Docs. You're going to be doing new assignments this module, typing tests, all sorts of stuff. You need to be watching these videos that are here. I make these videos because I've been teaching online for a long time, and these videos help me with answering everyone's questions. I have 92 students in the program currently. I think there's actually 93 now. So that's a lot of students to ask a lot of questions, right? So I created these videos in order to diminish the amount of questions I get because you can look at how to do any of these functions very quickly here in a snapshot. It makes it so easy. And these videos, I upload them through YouTube, but they're a private video, so you can't like search YouTube and find it. But I upload them that way because all you have to do is click into the module and press play, and it will start playing the video for you. Like you don't have to download anything. All you have to do is press play. If you prefer to have subtitles, I'm somebody that's hard of hearing, so I always like to have subtitles. Be aware that you can turn subtitles here on in Zoom. Everyone has their own private function for that. If you click on the little three dots down below the little more section on your computer screen, it says more. If you click into that, there should be a section for closed captions, and that's subtitles. And it will actually give you live subtitles as I'm presenting here. Um, if you would like them for the videos, they won't show you subtitles here on Zoom, but if you click into the title of the video, it'll bring it into YouTube. And when you're in YouTube, then you can press the closed captions or subtitles button and it will generate those for you. So just be aware that you can do that. It's very easy to have that accessible for you. So again, that's the helpful how-to videos for LMS. Please be watching over those, especially if you are a new student. Okay, another thing that we're going to go over before we get into week one is your textbook. So we use two textbooks in this module. I'm just going to scroll down to show you. They're right here in the readings tab. So it's this practice management for the veterinary team, and then it's Microsoft Office, or Microsoft Office 365. And so those are the two textbooks we're going to be using for this module 100. So these are different books than what you see in the other modules. So if you've been in other modules with me before, these are two completely new books. We only use them for this specific module. So make sure that you are clicking into that e-textbook tab right here under contents, right below the helpful how-to videos above your week one e-textbook. Click right into that tab and you'll see both of your books, Microsoft Office and Practice Management for the Veterinary Team, 4th edition. Those are both of your books that we're going to be using. You're going to use Microsoft Office for the homework assignments for this week and for next week. And then we'll be going through quite a few chapters every single week out of this practice management for the veterinary team. All you have to do is click on the link, and it will bring you into that book website. If you're a new student, you'll have to create a login, but once you create a login, then you'll get access. If you're, again, if you're an established student, all you have to do is click on the link and it'll automatically grant you that access to the book. So just know that there's a section 1 and a section 2. So if you click on the arrow, it'll open up all of those chapters in section 1. You click on the arrow for section 2, it'll open up all of those for section 2. We are not going over every single chapter. I did pick and choose which chapters were more relevant to your syllabus and to your course plan. So please be aware, when you click into your week, it'll be listed under the lecture section. So like we're going over chapter 1 and chapter 2 in week 1. So you'll see that posted in the lecture section. Also down here in the readings tab, I do put down here what chapters we are reviewing in both of the textbooks as well. The chapters are important because that's what your homework is going to be based off of. If you scroll down and take a look at your homework tab, you'll see there's chapters 1 and 2 review questions. So if you haven't reviewed your chapters, which you can read them in your e-textbook, and then we also will lecture on one of them, and then you'll watch videos on your asynchronous days of the others. That will then help you with your quiz and your interactive homework. So both the quiz and the interactive homework is based off of the chapters for that week. When it comes to these word assignments, this is where you're using that Microsoft Office textbook for the make a flyer, make a business letter, and that you're also going to be using Google Docs for this. So you will want to go back and watch that Google Doc video if you haven't before, so that you get a little bit more familiarized with Google Docs. And don't worry, we will come back to that to overview a little bit more about those assignments here. I'm just taking a look here at my list, making sure that we're getting through everything that we need to. All right. So let's start to look through your week. And again, we will get down to that homework section and we will get into those assignments together. So in your week number one, again, you started that yesterday and it ends on Thursday. So as you can see the dates for your weeks all throughout here. And again, your lesson plan is amazing. It has those dates, it has everything outlined. It's perfect for that. Um, So be paying attention to, again, the dates, kind of deadlines, when you need to be having things all finished. One thing that I do want to highlight, there is some other tabs that you see down here below. There's campus security reports and forms. You filled all of those out yesterday when you were in lab. You signed off on those. Those were the first day forms. There is an Avamark demo that's not working right now. So I'm in the process of speaking with the director, the operations director, and they are going to see about either we're either going to keep Avamark or we're going to upgrade and use EasyVet. So stay tuned. I will have an update for you. Hopefully by next week, I will have an update. Also, there is a section down here for on-campus skills lab, and it was basically just going over everything that your lab instructors went over with you yesterday. And I believe I have the pet waiver. Yes, I have the pet waiver and stuff linked here if you need it. So make sure that you refer to that tab for any of those. But of course, they're in your lab as well. All right, let me take a look here. It is actually, we're coming up on a break time. So before we get into your week one, we are going to take a quick break here. And then we will, when we come back from our break, we'll get started in week one and we'll go through all of the assignments and everything you need to know about that week. So give me one moment. I'm going to pause the recording while we go on this break. All right, welcome back, students, in from your break. We're now going to start going through week number one together. So we're going to look at all of the assignments that you'll see in week one. I'll be able to answer any questions that you might have. Specifically, the new assignments that we're going to be talking about is the term project for this module, and then we're going to be looking at those word assignments. There's two different word assignments for week one that, again, are new to you, even if you've had me in classes before. So, first off, in the objectives tab, we have your term project. So every single module, you will have a term project. It is always due at the end of week three. So in this module, the end of week three is Thursday, the 23rd. So that's a little over 2 weeks from now. So please be aware you have a little over 2 weeks to be working on this project. It is a requirement for passing the module. This is the term project that you're doing. This module is a resume and cover letter, and it's required. You are going to be using this for externship, so you have to submit this in this module. If you don't in previous modules, um, you technically could not submit it and still pass. This is a non-negotiable. So please be aware in this class. Oh, sorry, y'all, I clicked on the wrong thing. In this class, you absolutely must submit it to pass. It is a requirement. And this is a resume and cover letter. Many of you probably already have one started. So, first things first. First question students usually ask is, can I use one if I already have one? Yes, you can. Absolutely. You are going to be just tailoring it to veterinary medicine. So that's the only thing is you can absolutely use one if you already have one. You're just going to be tweaking your resume a little bit, adding veterinary skills. You're going to add this school into it. And then you're going to write a cover letter based off of you trying to apply and secure a veterinary assistant job. So if you've never done one before, do not worry. We'll click right into this hyperlink that says resume and cover letter, and it's going to, oh, hello. Give me a moment. I don't know why it's not wanting to take me to that, but we will figure it out here. Oh, actually, maybe I'm clicking on the wrong link. Oh, give me a moment, students. I've actually not had one of my links not work like that before, so that's super weird. We can actually just go right down here and click into it here. I'll have to relink that once the recording or once we pause here for another break. It's just the link that's not working. I just have to relink it. Okay. So, when that link is working, it's going to take you into this folder here. And in this folder, I have some examples and some instructions for your resume and cover letter. So I've got two different cover letters examples, and I have two different resume examples from previous students that have been in my class before. And then I also have instructions to help you with creating this. So again, I apologize, the link's not working right now, but if you scroll down to the bottom of the course, you can directly click into that term project file folder. And actually, let me just relink it right now. It takes 2 minutes, or not even. So I'm just going to relink it so that you guys can click right into that. I'm not sure why the link wasn't working. We did start to duplicate courses. So sometimes if you ever notice a link isn't working or it's not sending you to the right place, just let me know. LMS can be a little funky. We are starting to like duplicate courses. So sometimes things don't transfer as well. Okay, so let's try that one more time. Let's try the clicking on that link again. All right, let's see here. Beautiful. Now it's taking us right where it needs to be. Okay, so again, we've got some resume and cover letter examples, so please feel free to look at those examples, take some notes about those examples, kind of how you should be formatting it, and then the instructions are right here in the middle. So we'll look at the instructions here together. So a resume, if you've never created one before, resumes are essentially a detailed information sheet all about you. And it's going to provide, if you haven't worked at any jobs before, you definitely should have a summary. If you have worked at jobs before, like you have a job history, I took the summary out as soon as I had more of a job history. So just be aware, it's kind of a filler thing. You can have it, you don't necessarily need it. Your resume should be a max 1 page. If you have a lot of work experience, it can be two. It should not be anything over 2 pages. So please be aware, again, ideally it should be 1 page, but it can be up to two if you need 2 pages. It should include things like your education. Be aware you should be adding in this school. Under your education section, you should have American College of Healthcare and Technology Veterinary Assistant Program, Certified Veterinary Assistant, and your anticipated graduation date. Your anticipated graduation date is 9 months from the date that you started. So you can do a little math. Again, whatever your start date was, it's 9 months after that. The program is 9 months in total. So you can say anticipated graduation date that month and that year. So please make sure that you are adding that. That is a requirement for this resume because you're going to use it when you apply for externship and you need to have your schooling in there. So add your VA stuff right here in the education. Core competencies. This can also just be called a skills list. This should include animal handling skills. So what you're learning in your modules. If you're brand new, you're probably like, I don't have anything yet. Don't worry, you will. You will have more to add to this even by the end of the module or once you get a few weeks in. So you'll add to this and you'll even update this before you go to your externship with more of the skills that you learned throughout these modules. Experience. Experience should be a working job experience. Be aware the school, this is not experience. This does not go under that section. Your school goes under education. Experience should be a working paid job. Now, that can be under the table, meaning like if you've done babysitting or house sitting or dog walking, you don't have like a legit employer, but you do that. Absolutely, you can put that there. When I first got started in working, I used to put down there pet sitting, dog walking, exactly. So you can absolutely put those type of jobs there. And then, of course, any other jobs that you have worked, whether it's related to this field or not, it doesn't matter. Any work experience is good to put on there. So please put any that you do have. Now, if it's not paid, like you volunteered at a shelter or did some pop-up events or things like that, that can go under volunteerism. So be aware, experience should be like paid experience. If you don't have any, you might not have anything to put under there. So just be aware. And again, this is where you would want to put that in the summary that you're looking for your first job. You just got out of school. This is what you're looking to do. Now, don't worry, your lab instructors can help you with this, and so can I. So if you are a little lost, you're like, oh, I'm not sure what to do. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay because this is something that you need to have for your job search post-graduation. So we will make sure that every student feels comfortable and has a good resume and cover letter before they finish this course. So that being said, you can absolutely work on this while you're in lab. I know that your lab instructors give you time to work on online work. Feel free to have them take a look at your resume. You can also come to any of my online sessions. I hold tutoring every single Friday, and I also have time after the lecture ends. So after this lecture's over, you can always hang back and talk with me one-on-one. I could look at your resume and cover letter. I could give you feedback. So please know that you have your instructors here to help you with this. But this is all based off of you. You don't have to do any research for this. This is your information, your story, your experience, your education, everything so far. Um, Now, with your cover letter, that's the next page. This is even, I think cover letters are actually really fun to create because cover letters are personal statements. Consider this your personal statement. And it is going to be you presenting yourself and explaining why they should hire you. What skills do you have to bring to the table? What makes you stand out from another candidate? These cover letters, I've worked with hiring staff with here in this school, but also with other veterinary jobs that I've had before. And I will tell you that a well-written cover letter could be the reason that I pick you for the job interview. Like, even if you don't have that much experience, even if you don't have that much, hospital experience and time on you yet, if your cover letter speaks volumes, you have a mission, there's a reason that you're here, I can relate to that cover letter, that could be a reason why you get the interview. So take the time to write a really in-depth cover letter about you. It shouldn't just be a general, I love animals and I want to be in the field. Don't worry, I'm sure you do, and I'm sure that's one of those reasons. But a cover letter can also be about your journey. Maybe you are just out of high school and getting started and this is your first career. Maybe this is not your first career, this is your second, or you could go into what you've been wanting to do with animals. You could talk about your whole life. I had a dog when I was younger, and it that's where kind of my love for animals started. My dog got sick, and all I wanted to do was to help it feel better, and it made me want to be in the veterinary field. That's actually a lot of people's stories relate to childhood pets or memories in their childhood. So that's a great thing to put on a cover letter. Why are you here? What's your driving force? Be as creative as you want to with it. There is no like rules of what you should or shouldn't say. I will say that you should focus it around you are applying for a veterinary assistant job, and this is why I meet those qualifications. This is a little bit more about me. You should always end your cover letter with thanking them for reviewing your application, and that you look forward to having a scheduled interview, and then you're going to sign off on it. Now, the address, who you're addressing this out to, you can address it out to me. And you can address it out to the school. So you can put Mrs. Shayna Baldomero, and put the address here for the school. That's who you're going to address it out to. And again, you're writing it to me for a veterinary assistant job. And then when you go to externship, you'll just change the address and all of that to the externship site that you're applying to, and then to jobs that you apply to after that. As I said before, there is examples here. So if you want to, you can click into any of these, the cover letter or resume examples to see what other students have done before. Um, I highly recommend to take a glance at it, um, especially if you're, again, new to doing resumes or new to cover letters. I think the more that you can view, the more that you're exposed to, the better. Also, with the resume, there is um I would say Google Docs has really great templates. You can find resume templates pretty much anywhere. Google Docs, Microsoft Word, even Apple Pages if you're using like a MacBook. But we're going to look at Google Docs here because I love Google Docs. You hear me talk about Google Docs all the time. That's what I would recommend you use for this class. So It's in your Google Apps. You do have to be logged into your Gmail. Once you create a Gmail, it's free to create a Gmail. Then you can click right into where it says Docs. Once you click into the Docs, and as you can see here, the first few things that it shows up in this template gallery is resume templates. So you can click on any of these templates. Let's click into one together. And it's going to show you exactly what you should write and where. It's already puts it in the format for you. All you have to do is erase the stuff and put all of your information in. And be aware you might not have certain sections that apply to you. Again, if you don't have experience or you don't have, you could put like honors and achievements. That's a great section to put in there. If you speak other languages, like you're bilingual, please put that under your skills list. So there's things that, again, you can add, you can take away. There's no perfect way to do it. I highly recommend using a template though. And again, all I did was click into Google Docs and it's right here in the template gallery. If you don't see it when you click right up top, you can click into where it says template gallery and then just scroll down to where it says resumes. And they have five different resume templates here. A cover letter is just, you could use any of these business letter under letters, you could use any of these templates for your cover letter. So already you've got a head start right there. You can use any of these cover letter templates or any of these resume templates. Those are wonderful and you can use those for this project. And of course, please let me know if you have any questions with that. Again, everyone has access to Google Docs. You just have to create a Gmail, and this is all free. So anybody and everybody can access this. Please use it if you need a template and need a help with a starting point. This is a great place to start. So that's your resume and cover letter. Now you're going to be submitting this in week number 3. So where you can find the submittal window for this, I apologize, my internet's being a little slow right now. Let me cancel out of some tabs up here. Try it again. Oh my. Sorry, y'all. I'm not sure if it's LMS or if it's my internet, because let me try my other course page. Ooh, it's not wanting to load. Well, I can talk about it a little bit right now as it's figuring itself out. It's just being a little slow here. You will be submitting this in week number 3. It's right in the objectives tab of week 3. So when you click into the module, if you click into week number 3, right in the objectives tab, you're going to see that's where the submittal window is for it. Now, again, please feel free. You can submit this early. You do not have to wait until that submittal date. You absolutely can be submitting that early. You can always come to a session of mine to get some feedback before you submit it as well. And remember, resume and cover letter is a requirement. If you don't submit it, you do not pass because you have to have this for your externship portion. So when you submit it here on LMS, I will then have it on file for when you go to externship. So please be aware of that. It is a non-negotiable for this mod. Other modules, it's, you can kind of get away with not doing it. That's not the same for module 100. It is a hard requirement. You do have to have that completed. Now, since it's still loading, I'm just going to talk over the assignments that are also in your week number 1. So there is two different word assignments. There's make a flyer and there's make a business letter. Now, be aware, I know that it was kind of confusing. On Google Docs, it says business letter and it has like that cover letter format. This is going to be a different kind of business letter. And the reason that you're making a flyer and you're making a business letter is because in this module, you are going to be going through that Microsoft Office power or textbook. Now you can use Microsoft Office and use the steps that show you in the textbook. So we scroll down to that assignment. Let's take a look here. So for your Word Chapter 1, make a flyer, click right here for directions and submittal. You can either read the chapter, it's Word Chapter 1, about making a flyer, and I even have it linked in this assignment, so you can just download it from the link as well, or go through the e-textbook tab. It's up to you. And it will give you step-by-step instructions if you're using Microsoft Word. Now, That being said, if you don't have Microsoft Word, don't go out and pay for it. It's really expensive. I don't recommend paying for it. I have it and I don't even use it because I love Google Docs more. I think Google Docs is so much better. It's superior and it's free. So, you can still use Microsoft Word if you want. And it's linked right here, the chapter to help you make a flyer, and it'll show you step by step how to make it. But if you're using Google Docs, then you're not going to really be using that chapter very much. So, for this assignment, you're going to make a flyer with a topic of your choice. I am grading you on can you use the customization tools that are listed in that chapter. The customization tools are like it should have a title, there should be a picture, a paragraph, a bullet pointed list, an outline, and a or like a background color, something like that, and then a signature line for credit. Now, if you're using Google Docs, I've got a video for you right here where you can watch this video to use Google Docs. You can add a page border if you want to. I put that in there, but as long as you have a background color, I'll give you credit for the border. As long as there's some kind of background color there, you're good to go. So you can use those videos to watch through on how to create them. You can also click on the word chapter one and it'll download it for you. And in that word chapter one, it's also going to show you exactly what the flyer should look like. So when you click on it, it's going to download. It might take a long time on my computer, but you'll be able to do this on your own. You can click on that and then scroll and just start to read it, and it's going to show you an example of what the flyer looks like. And essentially, it's just this. It's a title, it's going to be a picture, some bullet list. There should be a signature line. Like, let's say you did dog walking, because you can do any topic you want. I think it should be animal related because you're in a veterinary assistant course. Let's say you did it for dog walking. So you could have, dog walking services. You could have a cute picture of you walking a dog or any picture that you find on the internet is fine. Or any graphics is fine as well. And then you could have, some bullet points of, this is who you need to contact. This is the hours I'm available. Again, get creative with it. As long as I can see that you know how to make a flyer, that's all that I'm looking for. The whole point of this module, the front office procedures, is to make sure if you ever were to work in front office, or if you want to, many of you might go into management. Management is also a position that you can move into after you get a few years experience. You would need to know how to use Word. You would need to know how to make flyers. You would need to know how to do business letters. So this is just teaching you that information now. And if you've already done assignments like this, it could be really easy for you. And if you haven't, don't worry. It's also still really easy. Again, you can watch a step-by-step video on how to do it, and make it on whatever topic you want. Now, some students have asked if they could use Canva. Uh, Go for it. I have no opposition with Canva. That's fine. Again, you just have to make a flyer. And as long as you make a flyer and you follow the instructions and you use the customization tools for these different customizations, you will get your full points. This is due on Thursday, so be thinking about that. I would even be starting it today. So that was it says Surf's Up flyer, and that's just because the example in Word chapter one, it's going to take forever to download. It's probably not going to download because my computer is being a little slow right now. But when you download that chapter, you're going to see a Surf's Up. It's a cute little surfing flyer that's on the second page of that chapter, and that's the example. So that's why it's called the Surf's Up flyer. It can be whatever topic you want, though. Okay, I don't see any questions in the chat, so I'm going to move to your second homework assignment, which is Word Chapter 3, and this is making a business letter. Now, be aware, a business letter is not the same thing as a cover letter for this assignment. It could be a cover letter, but you're not doing a cover letter for this assignment. This is a business letter. So click right on that link for directions and submittal, and it'll bring you into the business letter. Now, same thing, I'm going to have the Chapter 3 linked in the assignment. So you can just click right into that hyperlink and look at that chapter 3. Again, I recommend that you use Google Docs because I just find it to be easier to use. And there is 2 videos. So here we are. So the chapter 3 is, oh, Where is the video? It got removed. Sorry, guys, I duplicated this course and it looks like some of the things um didn't copy over. I will make sure to get the video links back in here for you, but we'll be able to take a look here through the chapter 3. So for this assignment, you're going to be making a business letter, which is supposed to look identical to the example that's on chapter 2, or sorry, page 2 of Word chapter 3. So if you click into this hyperlink Word chapter 3, it's going to download it for you. You're going to scroll to the second page, and that's where you're going to see the Word chapter 3, um, the business letter, and you're going to make one that's identical to that. And so in this business letter, there's like a table, there's a chart, there's bulleted list. So again, I'm checking to make sure, do you know how to do those editing functions? Do you know how to create a table in, or a header? Do you know how to do that? And if you don't, this is what it's going to teach you, is how to do those functions. So again, I will get those videos relinked here because I did have some how-to videos just like for the Word chapter 1 that you saw. So as soon as we're finished or we're on our next break here, I'll make sure to get those links reattached. And again, you can use whatever clinic you want. You can make one up, or you can use the one that you take your pet to. You can actually copy this word for word, if you want to. It's not considered plagiarism. I promise you, I'm teaching you how to do Word documents. So it's okay if you take it word for word and copy it. Same with the flyer. If you want to copy the Surf's Up flyer and just write exactly what they wrote down, that's fine. I just want to make sure that you know how to do those editing functions here on Docs. That's the whole point, is that you learn how to do more of these functions. I've actually never used any of those. Abby, I had a question in the chat about kilo notes or notability. I've never used either of those for making a flyer, but if you're able to make a flyer, that's fine. Yeah, I don't care if you have to use another program. Ideally, I would use Google Docs because Google Docs is um one of those applications that's really common to use, and you'll want to have good mastery of it. But absolutely, whatever application you want to use to make a flyer, go for it. I would definitely say for this business letter, though, to use Google Docs. Definitely. And like I said, it's being a little slow for me right now, but just download the chapter, look at the second page, and again, you can copy it word for word. I'm just grading to make sure, did you do the header correctly? Could you do a table? Did you do your bulleted list? The content, the words don't matter. The words don't matter at all. It's the formatting and if you did it correctly. Yeah, great question to clarify for that. How do you turn it in when you're done? Great question. That is going to be, it's really simple. Really, really simple how to submit your work here to LMS. And there is helpful how-to videos for that. So Mariana, you're a new student. Make sure that you go to that helpful how-to video tab and watch the video on using Google Docs and submitting to them to LMS, because it's going to show you step by step how to use Google Docs, how to download the Google Doc, and then how to submit it here into the submittal window. So again, you can either do that for Adobe Scan, which is your handwriting assignments, or Google Docs for like these ones where you're going to have the online submittal. So make sure it's under the helpful how-to video section for LMS. Go watch the one that says Google Docs and submitting to LMS. That's going to be your definitely your go-to tab, is that. Again, it's right under this course introduction, right above e-textbook, helpful how-to videos for LMS. If you've been in my class before, it's your standard homework submittal. All right, students, you're welcome. Absolutely. No, you're going to submit it as a PDF. You will not be submitting a link. You will absolutely be downloading it and submitting it as a PDF. Again, if you watch that video, I'll show you. It's right under the helpful how-to videos. Scroll down here. This one right here. How to use Google Docs and submit to LMS. I show you that you download it. It must be PDF, and then how to upload it here. So please, if you're new, go watch this and it will clarify exactly how you're supposed to submit that assignment. No problem. Absolutely, y'all. Okay, were there any other questions about the power, or sorry, about the term project resume and cover letter, or about your any of your homework assignments? Any questions regarding those? Feeling okay? All right, students. Well, that was our introduction. Now, really quick, I am going to click into week two because I do want to show you there are some other assignments in week two that will also be new to you. Again, even if you've been in my classes before. So I do recommend maybe even taking a look into week two this weekend before you start in week two on Monday. In week two, you're going to have daily typing test assignments. I recommend you watch this video. You can only do these assignments on the day that they're due. So you cannot do the typing test early. They do lock out. So please make sure this is a new assignment. Again, that's going to start next week. So be aware of that. You will want to watch that video so that you're prepared for that. You also do have a PowerPoint that's due in week two, and it's going to be all about your pets, your animals, or your favorite animal. And that's another part of the Microsoft Office textbook is doing, again, some different assignments using these different document styles. So this would be a PowerPoint. You can use Google Slides for this. So if you don't have Microsoft PowerPoint, don't worry. There's Google Slides, and that's Google's equivalent of PowerPoint. Um, so again, you can do it on your pet, or you can do it on your favorite animal. Totally up to you. I've got even an example of a pet PowerPoint here. So just be aware that that is in week two as well. So you definitely want to be looking throughout your module, clicking into all the assignments, reading all the directions, and letting me know if you have any questions, of course. All right, in just a moment here, as everything's getting loaded, we are going to be going into your discussion for today. And then we will also get into your PowerPoint for today. So again, this was everything for the introductory for the course. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact me. Again, I'm Mrs. B, your online course instructor. So anything online, any online assignments, you want to direct those questions towards me. Of course, if it's anything in person and with the lab, that will be your lab instructors. Again, any online assignments, that's all going to be pertaining to me. I'm going to be the one grading those assignments. So again, thank you, students. I'm going to stop the recording for our introductory today.